Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 27th day of August, 2024. I hope you're safe and healthy today. Hope your family's safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are out here trying their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create the demands for these industries. And finally, blessings upon the homeless, nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. And part of our continuing series, going through the Knicks rotation pieces, today I want to talk about Josh Hart, a very important piece. Again, he is exemplifying. I call him Charlie Hustle because if you look at his stats, he averages 9, sometimes 10 points a game. But he also, and now that he's in his prime, he averages about 8 rebounds a game. He hasn't done that his whole career, but he's always been a hustler. But now he's in his prime. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 next year in March. And so he's in his prime. He's in the thick of his prime at this point. And he really does bring a winning edge to whatever team he's on, but now particularly the Knicks. Now, he played in Portland. He played in New Orleans. He played in LA prior. So he's been around. But there's a difference when you're playing with all of those teams and sometimes great players than you're playing with your homie, which is Jalen Brunson and Dante DiVincenzo and now Mikal Bridges. Guys that you won a championship with in college. Guys that really good friends of yours. That's a big difference when you're playing ball. See, and it's a difference whether you're on the street level, high school, college, and of course in the league. So for him, he's in his prime. He's playing with his homies. He's playing with a coach that appreciates what he does. And this is not the same with all coaches, but for Tom Thibodeau, Josh Hart's one of what I would call his grandchildren, one of his children or his grandchildren, like Emmanuel Quickly was. They're just certain players, like Taj Gibson, Derrick Rose. They're just certain players that Thibs decides he completely trusts. Josh Hart is one of those. So that you might see Josh Hart get minutes when you think it would be DiVincenzo, or when you think it would be Deuce, or when you think it would be somebody else. It's Josh Hart because Thibs trusts him. And the reason Thibs trusts him is good reason. Number one, statistically speaking, aside from his averages that I just mentioned, he's +6 when the Knicks are +6 when he's on the floor. So the defense is a point better, the offense is 5 points better when he's on the floor. Why is that? Because he does hustle. He's only 6'4", 200 pounds, but he gets 8 rebounds per game. His last 2 seasons been 8 rebounds per game. When he gets his 8 rebounds and his 10 points, the Knicks are going to win the majority of those games. A good 60% of those games they're going to win. It's because he's that much of an effect. Not only that, but he plays, of course, Tom Thibodeau level defense, and he gets 4 assists a game. So he's going to be effective. He's going to pass. He's going to rebound. He's going to hustle. He's going to be out there. He's going to be on his his defense. That's going to help win a lot of basketball games. And Tom Thibodeau's schemes, defense and rebounding, are the key. He's not as concerned with how great you are as a shooter. He likes shooting in his lineups. Obviously, every coach does. But the focus is defense and rebounding. And again, why? Because defense and rebounding wins championships in the NBA. And Tom Thibodeau is all about the chip, which is why I like him. So, Josh Hart exemplifies those efforts. He'll give you 48 minutes if you need to. He'll start at the 2. At the 3 or at the 4. He'll guard all of those players. Okay? He may be undersized, but he's going to fight for every minute of every game he's on the floor. You can expect 100% effort 100% of the time from Josh Hart. He's not saving himself to shoot offensively, and he's not saving himself to focus on the defensive assignment he may have. He's coming at you 48 minutes every single night. Okay? And in that, him and DiVincenzo are like bookends because they both about the same size and they do the same thing. Now, DiVincenzo is more of a shooter, as we talked about yesterday. He can shoot the rock. Hart is getting better, and that's another thing. He's been working on his game, and he has hired shooting coaches to try to get his game better. And that's another sign of a guy that Thibodeau likes. He's always trying to add to his game. You're going to get to a point, every player does, that, every player's talent gets to a certain level, and then, you're limited as to how much better you can get, okay? Everybody is. But when you're continually trying to add to your game, even if it's just incrementally, and that's what happens when you're in the league. People don't make dramatic changes in what they are. You want incremental changes because you're already in the league. You're already at the highest level. You're already playing at your best level. If you can get an incremental change, a small change, like some people, like for example with Mitchell Robinson, right? We know he shoots about 50% from the line. And so you're not looking for him to shoot 80% from the line. If Mitchell Robinson can get to 60% from the line, so instead of 5 out of 10, if he can get 6 out of 10, that's a tremendous difference. With Josh Hart, last year he shot 31% from 3. His career average is 34% from 3. But if he can get up to 36% from 3, tremendous difference, okay? And he is capable. He has shown that. His first season with the Knicks was a half season. He got traded from Portland for Cam Reddish and some other picks and some other players. But he shot 50% from 3 in that because he was so hyped to be here and with Jalen Brunson. He shot 50% from 3 in that half a season. That's ridiculous, right? So he's capable of doing it. But you got to also consider, again, the energy he puts out every night to play. And this is energy like that helps a team stay in every game. And this is the thing. Your offense might be off, right? Your shot might be off. It happens, during the course of a season, especially 82 game grind that is the league. But you can bring hustle and defense every night. Now, even the hustle part, there's going to be ebb and flow with energy. That is why I say in the league, any team can beat any other team on any given night because it's an 82 game grind. Even the greatest players, your jokers, your Doncic's, even your greatest players are going to have nights where their energy level is just not there. They're going to try, but it's just not there. Okay, and it happens to every team every season. So you're going to have games where you're losing teams like your Charlottes or your Detroits are going to beat championship teams like Boston. It happens. But what you want is the consistency of effort every single night, every single minute of every night that'll keep you in every single game, no matter what. Guys like Josh Hart are the ones that bring that. Okay, and as a couple of you guys noted yesterday, like with DiVincenzo in the last game of the playoffs, when the Knicks were down, he wasn't giving up. He was acting as if he was going to bring them back himself. That's the energy level that Hart brings, and then that's the energy level that DiVincenzo brings. In fact, that's the energy level most of the Knicks bring, which is what makes them threats to win it all this year. Okay, so they're going to keep coming at you. And Josh Hart's the epitome of that. He's going to keep coming at you. He's going to keep trying to get that rebound. He's going to keep trying to stop you from scoring. He's going to keep looking for the open man. He's going to keep hustling, keep running. We're glad you get a guy like that on your side. When you get a guy he's a smaller version of Dennis Rodman, because that was Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was 6'8", about 220, in tremendous shape. And all of the dressing like a woman and all the foolishness he did. Every night for 48 minutes, he was coming at you. Karl Malone didn't want to see him. Shaquille O'Neal didn't want to see him because he was coming at you. You could bow him, you could curse at him, you could fight him. All you was going to do is get an offensive foul or technical because he was continually coming at you. That's Josh Hart. Josh Hart is a smaller version of that. Okay, smaller version of that. And so his best, highest value is in the second unit of a team like the Knicks. You can start him if you need to, as Tom Thibodeau has done. In fact, I think last year, because of the injuries, he started a lot of games. He started 42 games last year because of the injuries. He started 42 games. And you could do that, but you don't want to make that your regular rotation. There's guys that are built to start, and there's guys that are built for the second unit. Josh Hart is built for the second unit. For example, Mikal Bridges is built to start. That's him. He's a starter. Julius Randle is built to start. But Josh Hart is really built for that second unit. What you want in the second unit is energy. You want them to come out with energy and hustle. And then you add your shootings, like your deuces and your devos. But you get energy, hustle, and rebounding. That's Precious. That's Josh Hart. Okay? And you want that because you're playing against other second units. The Knicks, again, one of the reasons I feel like they're the top two teams in the East and they're a threat to take it all this year is because of that second unit. The second unit for the Knicks is going to bring it every single night. And you know what you're going to get out of your starters. You know what you're going to get from Jalen Brunson. You know what you're going to get from Julius Randle. You know what you're going to get from Mikal Bridges. You know what you're getting from your starting unit. And they're going to give you that on a consistent basis every night. But it's hard for an opponent to game plan against hustle, against energy. It's hard to game plan against that, especially coming from the second unit. You could game plan for it if it's Rodman and he's in your first unit and you got to keep him off the boards. But when you're in your second unit and you got 2 or 3 dudes coming at you like that, 4 dudes, that's why. That's why the Knicks are a threat to take it all. And that's why it's so foolish to talk about some rookie coming into the rotation when you're trying to get a championship. This is the highest level we at right now. Josh Hart is epitome. He's in his prime. He's been around the league, what? This is his 7th year. He's been around the league 7, 8 years. He's been 2017 he came, right? What's that? This is 2012. This is his 8th year. He's in his prime. He's in his 8th year. He knows his way around. He know the league. The refs know him. He's going to bring the energy every single night from the bench. When the Knicks last went to the finals, Latrell Sprewell and Marcus Camby were coming off the bench. I have seen very few players in the history of the NBA, seriously, that played with the amount of energy every single night that Latrell Sprewell played with. It was ridiculous. You could start him or you can come off the bench. Now, Latrell was different in that he really was built to be a starter. But you bring him off the bench, he was still going to kill you. Okay, and that's what the year they went and lost to the Spurs in the finals when they came from the AFC. It was Latrell Sprewell and Marcus Camby coming at that bench, but Latrell bring unbelievable energy every single night. There's some players that could do that. John Havlicek used to do that when he played for the Suns way before most of y'all. But it's not easy to do. The one time they put some sort of monitor on Havlicek and found out that every game he runs about 5 miles. That's crazy, right? Because in the NBA, it's not like you're running just like a marathon. It's stopping and going. It's stopping and going. It's stopping and going continually for 48 minutes. And, of course, there's overtime more. That's Josh Hart. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to bring you, if you put a monitor on him when he's playing, he's probably running a lot of miles during the course of a game. But that's what you want. You get players like that, you always have a chance to win. No matter how good you're shooting the ball, you'll always have a chance because you're going to always bring defense and you're going to have guys attacking that glass. That's why we glad we got him on our team. And got him cheap, of course. The Don got him 4 years, $48 million. That's right. And at that time when he got that money, that wasn't the mid-level exception. It is now. So basically you got Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo at a price of the mid-level exception. And they're manning your bench. Mobb Deep is back, y'all. And so are the Knicks. Y'all enjoy your Tuesday. So